Hi, true coders, welcome to another tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a database and a table on MySQL using Python. So as you can see, I already have opened my Visual Studio Code. I had two files, which one is going to be creation.py and the other one is going to be setup.py. In this setup.py, we're gonna put all the settings of the database, like it could be the user, the password, the host, the database, and obviously we're gonna establish the connection here. And on the creation.py, what we're gonna have is the creation of the table and creation of the database. Okay, so let's gonna start for the package we need to import first. So in this case, we're going to use the terminal and we're going to type pip install mysql dash connector dash python. Okay, and press enter. Obviously, I already got it, but don't forget, this is very, very important notation. mysql.connector.python. Okay, good. So now that we got this package installed in our machine, we're gonna import it, mysql.connector, okay? And now, for example, we're gonna call settings. And don't forget, this is, in my case, I'm gonna use a dictionary, but you can use wherever you want. So we're gonna put the user, and this user and this password has to be exactly the same as you put it when you were installing MySQL. Okay, my previous video I followed through, you can follow through, which is step by step how you can install MySQL, and then you can see like the user, we're gonna use the maximum user you can have, which is root, and then the password in the other case I put 1 2 3 4, but obviously you need to make it more secure. Okay, so we're gonna put root, quote root, then comma, and then password. Like I said, 1 2 3 4. Then we're gonna put, now we're gonna put the machine what is gonna be running. We're looking for the database, and in my case, it's gonna be the local host. Yeah. So imagine you got another server or anything different, you have to put that kind of IP address. So once we've done that, that's okay. Oh no, this is comma, and then in here, the next one, I'm not gonna fill it now, but you will put the database and then the name of the database. Okay, but we're not gonna put it now because we don't have anything on our MySQL. Okay, so once we got the settings, that's fine. Then the next thing I want to show you as well, we're gonna go through MySQL for a little bit. This is MySQL Workbench, which we installed, as I said in the previous video. In here, we're gonna have the database. In this case, we just got SYS and a few tables, but in here we will be adding our database, our tables, and very, very important in here, if you go to the right hand side to the screen and you see this kind of circle where it says show preference, if you will click it, in here you can see very, very important things, like for example how many executions you're going to have, administration, and also one very important thing we need to know, what engine we're going to be running. In our case is InnoDB. Okay, we will be adding that when we are creating the database, but just to let you know. So this is very intuitive program, very simple to use, and obviously you can play as you want. Okay, so let's gonna go back into our Visual Studio Code. So okay, we got mysql.connector, we got the settings now. We're gonna now, for example, we're gonna call the database, we're gonna call it DB, it's normal, that's what I normally call. We're gonna use mysql .connector.connect, connect, correct. And in here, because we're using a dictionary and this is a keyword, is expecting connect, is you see, it's expecting like 2 stars keyword. So we need to pass these kind of pointers. So we're gonna pass these settings. okay? And so at the moment we got the connection where we want to use the user, the password, and the host. And then now we're gonna call it cursor, like, you know, once again this notation that everyone use, and we're gonna call it db.cursor. Cursor. Okay, so we're gonna save it, Control S, and then now we're gonna go into the creation of the database. Okay, so we're gonna start for importing mysql.connector again, and we're gonna import from setup, import cursor. Okay, so setup is our file, as you can see, setup.py, but we don't put .py, and then we import cursor. Okay, so now we're gonna call a database name, for example. Well, I'm gonna put it all capitals. So we're gonna call a preview coders, like that, and then also shall we, because as you can see in here, we don't have any tables or database. So in the case you want to add more tables, in my case, I'm just gonna add one table, but if you want to add more, so let's gonna create an empty array. So let's gonna call a tables or capitals, okay? That's up to you, but that's notation basically. Okay, so once we got that, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna define these tables, okay? So we're gonna go inside these tables, and then we're gonna use this, and then now we're gonna call it followers, for example, followers, and then equals, parentheses, and we open it because that's where we're gonna add. So in here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use keywords that MySQL use. Okay, they're special keywords. So in this case, because we want to create this table, we're gonna say create all capitals. Okay, create table. Okay, now this is it could be a little bit tricky, so we're gonna use this bad quote, yeah, and we're gonna call the same name, followers, and we're gonna use this followers. Okay, and then we're gonna go here, and we're gonna add well, at the moment we leave it like that. Okay, fine. So at the moment what we're doing is creating a table, okay, but it's empty. So let's gonna add some columns, some items inside the table. So in order to do that, all we have to do is use this back quote again, and we're gonna use ID as our primary key. For example, it's gonna show 1, 2, 3. Each register, it will have a number, a different number. So in this case, we're gonna say ID is an integer, for example. We're gonna use that as I don't know, maximum 100. If you want, you can put wherever you want. We're gonna say not no and auto increment. Okay, so we want to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Okay, auto increment. Fine. So then comma, and then we jump into the next row, and then in here we're gonna put, for example, user. It doesn't matter. Okay, don't forget the bad quotes. User, and that's gonna be a bar chart. Once again, this is a type of variable which is inside MySQL. We're gonna put it 255, for example. We don't need that because user is normally smaller than that, but put that, and we're gonna say not no as well. And then we're gonna do another one which okay, so we're gonna do another one, and we're gonna put a name, for example, I don't know, whatever you want. Okay, no, last name, and then bar chart 255, not no. we're gonna add the date, for example. Doesn't matter, it's only to show you. This is not very important. It's just basically you can have different values and different date time. This is date time and not null. Default current timestamp. Okay, fine. Now what we need to say is we're gonna use ID, as I said, as a primary key. So you type primary key parenthesis quad quote ID quad quote. Okay, so we close that, and then we have another one. Oh, that was too fast. Let me okay, so we got the primary key, and then now all we have to do is we open those parentheses in there and we define the engine. That's what I show you on this show preference from MySQL, and in this case it's gonna be I know DB. Okay, so I think I got that. We shall see. No, I need to double check, but yeah, this is very important. We say create table, then the name of the table, which is followers, which is the same in this case, but don't forget you can have another table with amount of money or whatever you want to add. Okay, any other table you want to add. So once we got that, then and this is closed, so then we're gonna create the database and we're gonna see if it works or not. So we're gonna create a database like that, and oh, come on. Okay, now we're gonna execute cursor.execute. That's another command that we will have to use every time we want to use these keywords that MySQL use. So we're gonna say create database, if not exists. So it's basically just double, like a double check that this is already set or no. Default character and then the UTF. I'll show you that later as well, where it comes from, but it's basically from the MySQL format. So then we're gonna put this as a, because it's a Python 3.8, we're gonna use this dot format, and then we're gonna put DB name. Okay, so once again, in this one we are using this cursor execute, which is basically executing this query. We go create database, if not exists, we're gonna put here DB9, which is gonna be three colors and nothing. Okay, fine. Now in order to see it better, let's gonna print something like let's gonna say database DB has been created. Okay, dot format again, and this is going to be DB name. Okay, so let's gonna see if we can execute this thing. So already here, as I said, I got that, and I'm gonna make this small, and then in here we're gonna call this function create database. So we will find out, let me clean that out just in case we got some errors. So okay, so we got an error, import cursor. Okay, you see, this is a mistake. We say from setup or cursor. So once again, let's gonna clean it and execute this. This is doesn't like it. Error, check the manual that correspond to your MySQL version to the right use. So UTF-8. So where it says here, we got an error. Oh, okay, we're missing something. So this is, I will leave that on the description. So we're missing this set. We're gonna execute that, and then okay. So as you can see, database attribute callers has been created. Now we come back into this MySQL Workbench. We go into schemas, and then we press this refresh button. As you can see, voila, we got attribute callers. Okay. So as you can see, we got the attribute callers. We got the database, but we don't have many tables. So let's gonna create that. Let's gonna make it bigger. And let's gonna define create tables, okay, and then in here we're gonna specify, because we can have 100 databases or even more. So let's gonna use the execute function again, but in this case we're gonna say I want you to use this database. Okay, so we're gonna use this format again, and then in here let's gonna put db underscore name. Okay, so in here we're saying we want you to use our attribute callers database. Okay, that's all it's doing. Now next thing, so in here once again I'm gonna make it, if you have I don't know, 100 databases, you can add it like that. So we're gonna imagine for every database we need to take what table we are creating. So that's why we are using a for. We're gonna use a for, which we're gonna say table name, for example, or yeah, in tables, yeah, and then table, how are we gonna call it? Table name. Names in tables is table final, I don't know, something like that. Okay, so we're gonna say tables, because remember that's capitals, and then we want to look into t.name. Okay, so for each table name, and let's gonna call this table name in tables. This is not correct, because this should be the same. Okay, so we're using capitals, so always capital. Okay, in tables, table final, tables, table name. Okay, so that looks all right. Now, for example, it might fail, so let's gonna use try and catch. Can we? Yeah, let's gonna try show you that as well. So in Visual Studio Code, you can try and accept, you go there, and then as you can see, it's been filled. So we just need to, we're gonna try to, let's gonna say cursor execute. So let's gonna cursor execute, and now we need to put this table final. Let's gonna write I don't know, print table, that was same, has been created. Okay, has been created dot format. Okay, I'm gonna put db none. Okay, so table has been created, fine. And then for example we can this is something as well we can use. So from import, so if we go into here from mysql.connector, we're gonna import the error code. Okay, and then we can use that and print it, for example, on our screen. Okay, so we're gonna go here and we're gonna say we're gonna take that out, and let's say that mysql.connector dot error. Yeah, so if we got an error here, we're gonna say, I don't know, print an error as error. And it's gonna say error.message. Yeah, so because we want to see what error we got. So when we're gonna use try and catch, and so that's fine, that should be fine. So once again, creating tables, we use cursor.execute again. We use this tables database, fine. Then we go through the array of tables, how many you want. Then we put the one we want to use. For this case is tables or whichever you want. Yeah, in my case it's only one, so we put tables final. We will create that table. Has been created to format that, and then if we got any error when we're trying to creating that database or connecting that database, it will print it here. Fine. So all we have to do, let's gonna comment that, and then we're gonna call create tables. Yeah. So once again, I'm gonna make it smaller, and in here, one more thing. We need to add the database because it's being created. So tribu coders. Let me copy again, just in case. Yeah. Okay, so we close that, save that, and then it's the moment of truth. So let's gonna execute this. Let's gonna see this. Okay, table tribu coders has been created. We go back into MySQL, we refresh, and we got the table followers, which is got ID, user, last name, and date. And index as the primary key, we got ID. Okay, so this is basically all I wanted to show you. Let me just find, well, no DB. So in here, once again, very important, you need to put the engine you're running. Okay, I know I said that before, but it was it was a mistake I made, and obviously, you know, just realize that. Okay, so that's all for now. My next video will be using some functions, like it could be adding a register into our tables, or updating some fields, or deleting the table, deleting the database, amending any parameter we want to add. So I hope you enjoy with this video. I know it's been a little bit longer than the other ones, 25 minutes, but I hope you enjoy. Please just keep liking it, and obviously subscribe to my channel. And if you have anyone that is very interested in knowing or learning how to program in Python, or I'll be doing more series on Flutter as well, like how to do apps in Android and iOS, or as well I'll do some web development on my free time. So basically I'll try to create more diversity, like just not just Python. So that's the project. So once again, thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.